Good evening, everyone, and welcome to episode 38 of the Boys from the Baltic Star. What a delight it is for us to have you with us this evening. In England, we've been rocked and beset, both those words, with some pretty foul weather today, which for us, as a country that doesn't have many extremes, a chair getting blown over for us makes front page news. It's not been a pleasant day for any of us, really. Down here in the southeast, it's just been windy and rainy and dark and miserable. And so, for us, this event this evening, to see you guys in the chat and to see you guys in sort of the lurkers as well, which we love you guys, it just brings some warmth and joy to our hearts. A lovely way to finish a miserable day. My name is Luke. Hello. I'm in the blue background. I've got the strange mix for those regulars. The guns are kind of out because I've got a basketball vest on, but the hood is on as well. So we're in a weird. Both things are possible. I'm in Schrodinger's outfit today. It could go Schrodinger's guns. It could go either way. But they're potential guns. I like that. Yeah. So anyway, I'm here. Next to me is the loveliest man in all of the internet. I believe that award has been given out in the last week or two. It is my comrade, my friend, the man, the myth, the legend. It is Ewan. Good evening, Ewan. How are you?
Hi, Luke. I'm good, thanks. I'm good.
We're next to each other tonight, so we can fist bump. We can fist bump.
We can. I can't see you on Teams, so you're going.
That's good. That's perfect. That's perfect.
Visual work.
And I'm moving my hand. I'm moving my hand away. There we go.
Then I've got you.
Good work, guys.
It's good because he did that blind as well, Socks. Because for some reason my OBS it does a weird restart every now and again, and it blacked me out on their screens. But I think I'm visible for you guys. That's the most important thing. Stuck on the end, like a wart or an ingrown toenail on the extremities of the beautiful body that sits to the side of him. It is the man. He wasn't going to kill us today, and now he's changed his mind. I can see him changing it. Is the man who lives 24/7 in his own Twin Peaks dream sequence. The man with the softest furnishings in Christendom. The man whose soft face is becoming more velvety by the day, which Sparrow is very excited by. It is our referee, our GM, the finest mind in Christendom also. It's Ben. Good evening, Ben. How are you? With your Heidi curtains.
Well. Very well. And that may be the nicest intro you've ever given me.
Well, we can remedy that for next week. We'll go back the other way again. For those of you that are regulars, good evening. Thank you so much. The Metamind's here. It's all good. If you come along quite a bit and sort of you lurk a bit or you just have it on while you do other stuff, hello. We love having you around. We really do. If it's your first time, thank you for joining us, really. Stay as quiet or as loud as you want. Join in. Make suggestions or don't. We just want you to chill out and enjoy your time here with us. We make bad mistakes and appreciate that. You can click on the sun if you've earned some Imperial credits by being around. Spend those Imperial credits. You can't take them with you. You can't buy a car with them or anything. But what you can do is play a song dedicated to Ewan, or you can celebrate the Tims of this world, or suggest that brunch is happening, or make Agnar pay for all our food. There's many things that you can do with those. So please. Do them. Hello, Chess. I hope you are well. I think that's all housekeeping. Oh, Twitter, @BoysBaltic. Follow us on Instagram. Oh, hello. Sorry. You got to see there. Oh, there we go. They're out. I'm a bit hot now. They might stay out for a bit now. That's a long term. Have you been here since the music started, Fids, as well? But yes, so that was an example of using the Imperial credits. @BoysBaltic. Follow us on Instagram @Boys and the Baltic Star, something like that. Like us on this if you like what you see. I get to shut up now and pass over to the man who's got far more knowledge of what's going on. It is Ben.
Well, thank you. It's very kind of you. So, last time, the travellers have started to investigate the curious suite of the wealthy Varga family on the Seamstress. A suite in which Freya Kranev, a colleague of the murdered archaeologist Brett Sagar, has gone for unknown reasons. Not only are there armed guards at the lift into this suite, but they are armed with some very expensive Zonani weapons. Midran Dakstar, now the prime suspect in the murder of Sagar, is missing, but unable to flee the ship because it's in jump at the moment. Olivia Sharp, the security chief, is working to find him and to identify any other things he might have adapted aboard ship. He made use of the emergency passageways to give him discreet access to the murder scene, but that doesn't mean there aren't other secrets about his behaviour. Sharp has had a discussion with Zoe. Rose has dealt with a stalker and won a free jacket. And there's a possibility of some evidence that might point to Dakstar having an accomplice. Amid some skiing, some videography, a series of brunches, and the ongoing pursuit of a murderer, when they can fit it in, our band of heroes have discovered that Geeka's Buckyball team is keeping the Dilla Brew team honest, at least so far in the first innings. It's now evening on the ship. The concourse is filling with people, the bars and restaurants are buzzing, and there's murder, sports, and a powerful Varga family to keep the crew busy between brunches. And that is where we resume the story.
Just around the corner. Thanks. Oh, yeah.
You really are excited. The dice have gone everywhere.
That's a good cue to remind me to warm some up, though.
Okay, so we have a group of people basically encamped outside the suite. And as I say, the concourse is getting busier. It's filling up with people. The bars and restaurants are filling up as well. No, you've already sent those off. You handed.
Oh, I am sorry. I'm muted. I was eating crisps. Sorry, everyone. Hello. Yeah.
Are you back on?
Yeah, I was talking nonsense anyway. I was just
Okay, fair enough.
Just, yeah.
The mechanics of it. You've already sent off Rose with Zoe. And it's that they're heading towards the warm hot tub part of the ship.
That's it. I kind of wish Cara and Sarai were going that way too, but sadly, there's work to do. Cool. So we've got. I know what our plan. Yeah, a hot tub stream. Fitz, you're right. We should have a hot tub stream spin-off. Although it's with Rose and Zoe, so I'd feel very inappropriate going to that stream or being part of it, to be honest. But
It would be a bit awkward.
it would be a bit awkward. An Agnar hot tub stream. I'm all over that like a cheap suit, mate. I tell you, a sleazy cheap suit as well.
Yeah. Except if he stands in there long enough, he starts to look like a loofah.
We need someone to do some kind of augmented reality with our cameras, and then we can green screen background a hot tub in.
Yeah, I'm all set up for red screen if that's any help.
Yeah,
that's true. I've got my blue as well. That could work quite well. Maybe I should do something for that.
Yeah,
steamy. Right. So what we know is it's so this Varga House is the House of Tarak Nor. They also own a. They also work with the Cardassians in the Alpha Quadrant and have own space stations out there. It's a subordinate, so it's going to be the son or wife or previous slave of or a loved friend of, or someone that serves, but not the big cheese.
So, someone who is part of the extended group, yes.
Well,
Yeah.
but not Daddy Tarek, no.
No.
Probably for the best. We'd be dead already. It's red and black. So they've got, the belt is red and black, which is similar, could be similar to the one that we found. Can't prove anything because we only got a bit, and colours are colours at the end of the day.
Sure.
But there could be. So there's enough to pique our interest. And that on our belt we found there's a part of a symbol that could be one of the symbols on their sign. But again, we've only got a bit, right? So that is what that is. Okay. We tried to search on it. There's just too much info for it. It'd be impossible to find out more than that. The weapons look Zodani, which Zoe agrees, but they are export, high-end, expensive, deadly weapons, not for the common people.
Indeed.
Okay. So Rose, no, Cara just said that while eating a sandwich, just to look really impressive to everyone. So what I remember from 3 minutes ago when we were talking about this. Right.
All four of us we're all four sat around the table, aren't we? Is that how it went? Were we all here?
Yes, I think you all gathered together by the end because the two of you joined the other two by the time we'd closed out.
Yeah, perfect.
And you have Sammy with you as well.
Yes. Sammy's the most important puzzle piece of the puzzle.
The puzzle part puzzle.
The puzzle part puzzle piece. She's the puzzle piece.
She is indeed. She's key.
She's key.
Stefan will look at the group and he'll say, "So are we interested? Are we pursuing this?"
I'm
gauge the table, I guess.
Cara will respond, say, I am. There's got to be something here. When old Agnar and I spoke with her at the start, early days. What's her name?
Freya.
Freya Cranov, thank you. Freya Cranov. I should write the names back on the front again. It's because I've got a new notebook. It's ruined everything. When we spoke to Freya Cranov after death, and she's in there, and there's got to be a reason why we're there. She's shifty as, we know that. And if she's down there as part of a hallowed guest, we've got to try and get down there, try and find what's going on. And she says, if only we had a geologist with us. And looks around the table.
Yes, because when you're doing something sneaky, what you need is a geologist. Well, they rock.
Okay.
No. I'm going to make that a t-shirt with "Well, they rock" on the back.
Geologist. No clipping of that, Fids. It's too poor. And Sparrow, I know you like a clip too. Don't. We want people to want to watch our stream. No.
Okay. While you're having your discussion, you get a call. In fact, specifically, I think it will be Cara who gets a call from the. Yes, it's true, Socks. Thank you. From the from Olivia Sharp.
Hang
on. So you've got a message coming through from her, or at least a live connection actually from her.
Oh. Hi, Sharpie. How are you?
Good, thanks. Got a bit of info for you.
Oh, we love info.
There's no reason to suspect that any other hatches have been modified. We've completed our sweep, and as far as we're concerned, that's the only one that was disarmed.
Mm-hmm.
And following a tip, we took a look at the deadlock system on Daxtar's suite, and it wasn't remotely enabled or disabled. So we think, if you're confident that it was deadlocked, there was someone in there.
Is it worth running through security camera footage from the time that we left to when we got back?
I'm not new at this. We're taking a look, and working on the basis that the window we're talking about, the emergency tunnels were likely blocked by, well, you and grenades and gunfights and things like that. There's every chance that we'll get an image. We're going through it now. I've got Cathedral on it.
She strikes me as very much your best woman.
She's good.
She is. I've got every faith. We've all got every faith in that. Are you okay to let us know as and when you know who it is? Barring any high security reason not to, I guess.
Absolutely. However, I need some favour from you as well while we're on it.
Well, you know us. We love giving favours. We're like the bride and groom at a wedding. Favours for all.
Glad to hear it. I just want to make sure you're not going to be bothering our illustrious Varga too much.
Define too much.
Are you aware of the phrase plausible deniability?
I'm aware of it. You know that we're totally terrible at following that.
Okay.
Do you? Is it? Of course, you know everyone that's on the ship. You know everyone who is signed in, and no doubt you know much more about us and others than we would know, I guess, or realise. Is it because it's someone that is high ranking enough that us getting involved would cause a scene and problems, or is it because it's someone far too dangerous, or both, or?
It could be embarrassing.
Okay.
But if you could perhaps make sure that anything you do without any noise.
Yeah.
When we find very good customers, we don't want them messed with, you understand?
Yeah, I think that's fair. You've got future months and years to think about upon this ship, of course, and we're here just for a week.
Yes, indeed. Yes. I've got a suggestion.
Okay.
I've got an old friend on the ship.
Tell me more.
And it's up to you, but maybe you could get in touch with him and see if he can help deal with the Varga.
This sounds fascinating. That's certainly something we'd be interested in. Who is this old friend of yours?
His name's Telon Rack.
Now that's a name that sounds familiar. Wasn't he that big beefy guy from the posters?
That's the one.
Well, he's a heartthrob. That'd be an absolute delight to deal with him. You've dealt with him before, haven't you, Agnar? You had a very lovely couple of hours with him, didn't you?
What, with who? Agnar looks up from his croissant and jam.
From Brunch 5.
Are you on speakerphone? Sorry, I wasn't listening.
That Soraya told me of that Varg you've got a man crush on.
Oh, Rack.
Rack. Yeah.
Yes, we're well acquainted friends by now. I could probably get his autograph if you're after it.
All we need is his help. He's got sway apparently. He's got sway.
Well, of course he has. Have you seen him?
he's got sway and swagger. I'm not just talking about his tail when he moves.
Yes, I'm sure we can make contact. In fact, I have his phone number, I believe, or his contact details.
Yep, you have.
Cool. So Cara will turn back to the call for Sharp and say, she sort of, like when you put your hand on the thing when you're speaking. You guys can't see me, but the phone's up, and then you sort of cut the receiver and you look away to make, say, oh, by the way, so while the other person can't hear, she'll pull her hand away and say back to Sharp, we've actually met him, and actually there's a couple of members of our crew that have been getting on quite well with him, so I'll probably pass it over to them to chat with him about it all and go about things in a plausible deniability, quiet, softly, non-Baltic Star approach. If that sounds good with you.
Mm-hmm. Okay, that could be better. He's a reliable sort.
He's a sexy sort.
Sure, true, but not relevant for this.
No, it's just a pleasure to work with people like that from time to time. Okay, is that everything you want from us for the time being?
That's all I've got for now. You got anything else for me?
Do we have anything else for you? There's a pervert on the station, on the ship.
Really?
We've dealt with him somewhat, but it might be worth security keeping an eye on him, if that's okay, just in case. He goes around taking unsolicited photos of young women.
Well then, yes, we definitely need to have that dealt with.
Okay. His name is Fiddy. That's not his real name. What's Fiddy's? I've just written him as Fiddy for the last 2 nights. Oh no.
Fidelius.
Fidelius, yeah. So his name is Fidelius. Yeah, not you, Fids. Not you, Fids. Another Fiddy. Fidelius. Not the fiddler. The sock. Oh, there's sock fiddler. Yeah. Yes, it's Fidelius. I'm sure you've got pictures of him anyway, but I can send you that across. I can send you some of the photos he's taken. We've sent one of our crew members, Rose, had a bit of a run-in with him defending herself, so we've sent her with our Zodani, Zoe. They're hanging out together just to make sure she's okay. But yeah, so I can send across anything you want, and for you to check out would be amazing.
Can Agnar just try and get Kara's attention? When someone's on the phone and you're just like,
yeah, you're sort of waving your hand.
Yeah.
Yes.
Did you tell her? Does she know that Freya's in there with the Varga?
Oh, good point. She uncups the receiver again. Did you know that Freya Kranev is currently in the suite with the Tarak Norvarga?
No. So that's what's got your interest.
Yeah. That's why we sort of headed over there. We followed her over, but you'll be pleased to hear we didn't go charging in. We were sitting back and trying to do it in a peaceful way, and yeah.
No, I didn't have anyone following Freya Kranev. The reason I knew you were after the Varga is because I had people following you.
Uh, um, you know, back in the day, we used to be very suspicious and look behind us all the time, but we just feel so relaxed on this ship with you guys around, even with a murderer and a pervert on board. We don't
Sure.
even check our six anymore.
That's very, very good to hear. It'll certainly cut out my overtime bill.
Well, if you want to make sure that your guys are working harder, we can start checking behind us more often again.
No, you don't need to do that.
Yeah, I'm glad.
I mean, you understand. I mean, you started out as persons of interest, and then, well, Kranev, for all of the fact that you might have possible implications to the murder, she's yet to actually shoot anybody.
Well, that's true. I haven't shot anyone for a very long time either. So, you know, we've gone from persons of interest to just interesting people.
That's one way of looking at it.
Yeah. And you've gone from security to beloved security, and we're glad that you've got our backs, and we're glad that we can have these conversations and help each other out.
Well, excellent. You can expect a check-in from Cathedral when the opportunity arises.
We look forward to it. She's a fine, upstanding member of the staff.
Yeah, try not to ruin that, right?
No, we never ruin anyone that we get close to.
Good. I figure Rack's too established for you to ruin him, but
I
just had to make sure.
I think Agnar would like to ruin him.
Okay,
Don't
if there's
say
nothing
that.
else.
I'm sat right here.
I've never seen a Varga blush so much through their fur before.
If there's nothing else?
No, that's it for now. Thank you.
Okay. And she signs off.
Well, Agnar, it looks like it's time for you to get in touch with an old friend.
What did she say? Is he connected? He'll.
Yeah, she doesn't want us to go flying in, of course, with guns waving or forcing our way in or anything like that. She wants there to be plausible deniability, so that, of course, security can't be linked to it. They've got a long relationship with this powerful house, I guess, of using the ship, and they don't want that to be messed up. Be quite embarrassing. So they just said that all she said was Telon Raki. He's the man. He's the man that can sort it out. He's the fixer with the mixer.
I can very much imagine that.
Yeah.
I suppose my only concern is I guess it depends on what Rack is going to do, but I would assume that he'll have some sway and he'll be able to open some doors for us. If Freya's already in there and this has anything to do with the murder and she sees us in there, are things going to escalate?
No, she knows you and I.
Yes.
She's never seen Soraya. Like, she might know what the crew are, but there are people that we could send in, and I think Stefan was in the shadows for that first day, setting fire to things in other places.
All the ski slopes, yeah.
Oh, the ski slopes. So she would, unless she's been looking into it, which is possible, following the crew that have been checking. It's probably a good idea that you and I keep our faces out of the way as much as possible when dealing with her, unless.
Yeah, I mean, we could always wait until she's left the suite, if she leaves the suite, and then go in, or attempt to go in, or at least contact Rack, I suppose, and find out what the exact plan should be.
Yeah, let's call. We're still here, right? So we can keep an eye on things to make sure nothing changes. Give Rack a call and see what his idea is for getting to the bottom of Kranev and this family, I guess.
Yeah, that sounds like a good plan. Do you want to order in another round of drinks, and I'll make the phone call?
Yeah, I suppose I'll order in some drinks. Let me just open my purse and delve down deep to find. Scrabble around for my cards. Hang on. Okay, just scrabbling deep. Yeah. Okay. Okay, I've got it. Okay. Cara will pay. I'm guessing about 20 credits for a round of stuff. That'll be drinks for 6 of us, I'd imagine. Would it, Ben?
Easily.
Okay, and some nuts then.
And some nuts. Sure. You don't never run out of nuts.
Yeah, I'll get extra nuts, by the way, because
Wait, and Agnar will throw over his card because Sockbibber has just redeemed Daddy Agnar mode, and he'll knock off. How much were you going to spend, Luke?
So when the waiter comes over, Carl said I'll have what's it? There's 6 of us. I'll have 6 mimosas, 6 beers, 6 coffees, some nuts, and some cheesy snacks, please. Some cheese balls. You want those, Soraya? And Stefan, I know you like those. Yeah, that'll do for now, please. And and I've had my eye on the that little fishy platter you guys do. That'd be nice as well.
Okay. All right. So you have you you have placed an order. No problem at all.
Oh, the little scampi fries, exactly. Yeah, I've probably put up to about 50 units out of 20.
Yeah, that's the fishy platter. It's just a platter of scampi fries.
The little cheesy biscuits that shape like fish for Christmas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And as she's ordering, Agnar will make the call.
Okay. All right. So you call Rack.
Yeah.
It takes a few seconds for him to pick up an answer. And when he does, he says, "Yeah, who's it?"
Rack, it's Agnar Arnson. We met.
Yeah.
Is it a day ago now? Time moves
Absolutely.
quickly on these ships.
Yeah, fantastic. Yeah, how are you doing?
Yes, very well, thanks. I've been told we have a mutual friend, Olivia Sharp.
Oh, the slime. Yeah.
Yeah, she's asked. In fact, she's asked us if, or she suggested that perhaps she might be able to help us out with a bit of a problem. I wonder if you'd be free now to perhaps discuss it over some brunch. We've just ordered some drinks and some cheese balls and a fishy platter.
Oh well, if there's brunch on the table. Yeah.
And he'll give the location of where we are on the ship.
Okay. All right. He says, "I'll be with you in a few minutes."
Much obliged. Thank you. We'll pull up a chair. And Agnar will run off and he'll find another chair and pull one up to the table, scooch everyone around a little bit. Then wait, I suppose.
Okay.
He's on his way, Cara. Everyone, he's on his way. Prepare yourselves.
Everybody look busy.
Look nonchalant.
Yes, literally Cave Canem. Okay, so there is a very short few minutes, and then it's pretty obvious that when Rack appears, because people literally either leap out of his way or step up and wave to him and say hi. He's actually literally shaking hands with a couple of people who he's never met before. Just, they stick out a hand and he shakes it before he walks over to your table and sort of grins down at you. And when you're a Varga, a grin is a fairly substantial weapon of war. And he makes an enormous broad toothy smile and says, "So, you wanted to talk?" And he spots the empty chair and throws himself down into it. "And drink. You wanted to talk and drink."
Yes. Agnar will stand as he approaches the table, to greet him. Somewhat formally, I suppose. probably overly formally. Yes. Please sit down. What can I get you? We have just ordered, but I'll run up to the bar and add it to our order.
Excellent. I will have some whiskey, please.
Wonderful. I'll be right back. You've met Soraya.
Hello.
I don't
Hiya.
believe you're acquainted with the rest of the table, but Soraya will do the introductions while I'm sorting out your drink. And he'll run up to the bar.
Nice to see you again. I'm glad you're having a good day. This is my friend Cara. Cara just tries to give a call. Hi. This handsome man here, Stefan. Stefan was a bit nervous about you coming, but he's he didn't know what to make of it, but he seems happy you're here now. This lovely lady, Sammy. The guy next to us, our brother Johnny, and we're all very pleased to see you, either again or for the first time.
Oh, fantastic. Yeah, good to meet you all. So, this isn't a social thing then?
We very often mix business and pleasure as a crew. There's always time for some social time during business. We'd like to think.
Yeah.
We do much of our work over brunch, and we'd love you to be part of brunch and a more serious conversation at the same time, if that's okay.
I'm a career soldier. I never turn down an opportunity to drink, eat, or sleep.
Nor does Agnar, actually. You guys must get on very well. I'll leave the explanation to Agnar. He feels like he's the man that could best talk to you in the way that soldiers do. I guess none of us are military, and well, Stefan was for a little bit, weren't you, Stefan? You were a brave, strong soldier man back in the day.
A quick tenure, but it's not where I learnt most of my trade. Most of. No. And then he'll sort of awkwardly go silent.
Well,
let's wait for Agnar to return.
Sorry, I'll be like,
okay.
So how about the
Agnar
geeks?
is back in just a few moments with drink and a healthy glass, I'm sure.
Yes, yeah. He won't spare any expense for his new friend.
Good.
And he'll set it down in front of him and take his seat and say, so they've explained to you the problem? Is it a problem?
Sure yeah, they gave me all the details. Basically, as I understand it, you're going to explain all the details.
Then Agnar sort of looks around a little bit embarrassed. Okay. I don't have to tell you. You're a soldier. Don't look straight away. But you see that elevator over there, and he'll give him the general time on the clock face that the elevator is to him.
Okay.
Do you recognise the symbols on the door? You see the Varga guards, obviously. And the weapons they're carrying.
I know what they mean. I don't know whose they are.
It's we're reliably informed that it's Tarak Nor.
Ooh.
I'm not sure if if that's familiar to you.
Can you roll a carouse check, please, with social for me?
Oh, that's the wrong character sheet. That's not going to help. For someone who's got really good social, Agnar needs to work on his smaller skills. That's a 9 plus 2 minus 3 is an 8.
An 8. Okay. He nods and says, "Yeah, I know about Tarek Noor."
Wonderful. We actually ran into a bit of a roadblock trying to find some more information on them ourselves, other than the symbols matching up with the house. Sharp, and this is all, of course, off the record. Sharp has asked us to provide as much plausible deniability as possible, and to find a low key way to perhaps dig a little deeper into why they're here, what's going on. The company they keep is what brought us here. Obviously, we don't generally go around investigating important Varga households for no reason.
So basically, you want in that lift?
I believe that's the general gist, and he'll look around the table to his shipmates.
Okay.
Unless anyone had any other ideas.
No, you're the military tactician.
This seems a little bit out of that remit, but that's what we want. Perhaps not an audience, not introductions, but a way in the lift is all we really need.
All right. Few possibilities. I can get me in the lift. No problem at all. I don't have anything specifically to do with Tarek Noor, but I'll be a god to these people, basically. So I walk up and say I'm interested in meeting with them. I'll be in there a few minutes later. No trouble at all. No fuss, no bother. It'll be fine. Now, I can probably sneak someone in with me, have someone along while I do that, but it's not going to be possible for me to do that subtly if there's like an entire battalion of you.
Yes, of course.
If you need me to take someone in who they won't pay, second glance at, I've got a friend on board I could, take along with. And, here's the thing. If you've got the right kit and I know where I'm supposed to go, I'm sure you can hide a camera on one of us.
Oh, I do have the right kit. I think I have the right kit. Let me check. I've got something. Where's it gone?
Stefan shouts out, "Remember the lens cap this time."
I actually do have something. I can't see where I've written it down. I had a little thingy camera. Where is it? Oh, I don't tell me I've used it. Wait a second. Could I, if nothing else, Ben, could I wire something up through my computer? If I went back to the thing.
If you've got a camera device, then you wouldn't have any problem. Yeah.
Okay. I got one from. When did we last buy stuff? From the last time we bought stuff on Geeker. We picked up. I got some Starlight drops. I got the EMP, the Truth Serum, and I got a camera.
Okay. If you have a camera, I mean, this will be a small camera.
Yeah.
But this is not a small Varga, and he's got luxuriant fur. You could probably hide even your sort of vlogging camera in there, if you see what I mean.
Oh yes. Do you need any help getting the camera in there? I can hide it amongst your fur if you want, on your chest maybe, or in your luxurious hair.
I was thinking it would probably be better to have the camera in my colleague's possession. She can hide it more easily.
Okay, that sounds viable. Are we happy with that, guys? I'm happy to pop back to the suite and grab the stuff while the colleague comes over.
All right, I'll give her a call.
Cara, have you got Stefan will say, Cara, have you got anything for audio that's subtle, or will that be glaringly obvious?
Could I I'm guessing they'll check things. Is there some way that we could have an open line or something like that to a device?
Yeah, no inherent problem. It would require a technical role to set it up, of course, but it's not inherently a problem.
Okay, cool.
And then I suppose maybe we should fill our new friend in on some of the details, or at least what they're looking out for. You know, something
to lead things along that way. Yeah, that's a good call.
In case there's anything they pass or catches the corner of their eye, and they might want to delve deeper into that situation or item or whatever else. I don't know if there's any questions that we want to ask the head of this household, or not the head, but whoever's in there. We could ask. We could write them down for you. I'm sure you can memorize them quite quickly. Stefan will say. And shoot them a wink. I suppose particularly belts we're interested in. We've got the belts, haven't we? We've got their belts. It's the other belts that we don't have a good image of. Was that the
You've got
basis?
Lousy things in terms of the evidence you collected at the crime scene. But, yeah, but the actual belts being worn by people, you can examine from a distance, but you've got reasonably good view of them.
Yeah, because we've already seen a bit of it, haven't we? Because we wrote that down.
Yeah.
Trying to find out a bit about Freya being there would be quite helpful. What's sort of going on, however he goes about it, but trying to find out why she's, how she's in there, who she's in there with, who she knows what's going on.
Yep.
Yeah, but Ewan, like, is there something like the belt is like some sort of connection to the whole thing, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, do you want we'll give him the lowdown, right? There's been a crime committed. We found a belt at the scene. We identified Varga as having gone down the corridor and left the corridor. We pursued the Varga. That was what was the name, Cara? Was it Daxter? Is that?
Yeah.
Midran Daxter, and he'll drop that name in. Just so we're quite interested if there's a connection there between whoever's down there and Midran Daxter, without asking too deeply. Okay. Should there be a connection, that would probably raise some suspicion, and we wouldn't want to draw any heat on yourself. Obviously, I'm sure you can handle it. Look at you, but that's a key name if that comes up. And we've a good reason to suspect. In fact, we know that the colleague of the person that the crime was committed against is down there now, Freya Kranev. So there is obviously some connection there, but we don't know what kind of connection or relationship lies there. I think that's all the details, all the key details, isn't it?
Yeah, I think you've covered everything that's salient information, I think.
All right. So you loosely brief him. You tell him, if I get this right, that a little bit of the background of what's going on and why you're interested and why Sharp's interested, I guess, connect that loop.
Yeah.
and then tell him to keep his eye open for potentially Midran Dakstar if he's there, and Freya Kranev, and just nose about a bit.
Yeah. Perhaps find a reason why they're here other than buckyball. I'm sure there's numerous other buckyball tours going on at the minute. That, I mean, nothing against the geeks, who are potentially more high stakes, a grander ship perhaps than this. Yeah. I mean, that's all I've got.
That's a lot.
Okay. All right.
Up the geeks.
Up the geeks.
Up the geeks.
geeks.
Up the geeks.
He has summoned his colleague, and you've dived back in order to get the camera. Is that right?
Yep. Do you want
Okay.
the actual stats on it? Do you need the tech level so I can quickly go?
Yeah, if you've got them to hand, that'd be handy.
Bear with me a second. If you've got something you're talking to Ewan with, it'll literally take me about 10 seconds.
Okay. Well, what I'll do is I'll brief you on the arrival of his colleague then. So the colleague, when she arrives, an old friend apparently, they greet each other very very warmly, and he introduces her. He says, "Right, this is Amelia Jax."
Oh, how are we spelling Jax?
Jaxx.
Oh, the cool way.
Nice.
And he says, she's well, you know, she knows her way around stuff, right? Anyway, he turns to her and he says, "So here's the thing. Sharpie the Slime. She's asked this crowd to check out a possible murder suspect. And that murder suspect been loitering around the place, gone missing. Now, there's another possible suspect that we know went in through that lift shaft, guarded by those Varga, with those weapons. So, you and I, we're going in to scope the place out. You're going to be wired and looped. I'll front us through. We'll have a chat. We'll wander around, shake some hands, take some selfies, sign an autograph, you know, that kind of thing. And while we're there, we'll keep our eyes open for a couple of people and see what's going on down there, all right? And she looks at him and goes, "This is off the books, though, right?" And he says, "Yeah, completely off the books." And she says, "So we're not getting paid?" He says, "No, not getting paid." And she thinks about it for a couple of seconds, and then she says, "Could be fun, though."
Agnar will say, "There's a brunch in it for you." At least. At least a brunch.
A bottomless brunch.
Okay.
He gets the wrong end of the stick for a minute at that, and almost starts to blush a little bit again. And then, yes, the bottomless brunch.
I mean, I'm barely armed. That going to be a problem? And there's a sort of laugh that roars out of Rack. Says, no, that's not going to be a problem. What you might need is a different outfit. And she's a very petite, slim-looking, dark-haired human, but she's wearing very, very casual clothing. I mean, beyond casual, into the realm of the, you know, almost slovenly. And she looks down at her clothing and says, "What's wrong with it?" She says, "Well, you're with me, love." Like, "Oh, right. Yeah. Okay. Give me half an hour." And she disappears.
I see. I want Jax on the team now. all the spunky women are
Yeah.
great for the
Straight to
team.
business.
Just get
We're not getting paid.
not get
Well,
paid.
it'll
Yeah.
be fun.
If the
Oh,
two of
yes.
if the two of you ever fall out, I'm sure we could find space on our
Yeah. So Rack then sits back and enjoys a sip of his scotch. He says, "She's great."
Agnar will say, yeah, I mean, she seems very, very clued up and eager, and raring to go. Just what I'd expect from the military, I suppose. Was she military? Is that how you know her?
Yeah, knew her from the service. She was one of those where, while you were explaining how dangerous it was going up a hill, he had to keep one hand on her collar to stop her charging it.
I'm certainly familiar with the type.
You were doing you were the one holding their collars, weren't you, Agner?
I was the one pushing them forwards. But good to know. It's good to have someone like that on any team. Certainly. Yes. Well, I don't think there's anything else that we need to brief you on.
Oh, by the way, it's a TL9 visual only. I could have gone better, but I didn't. I don't know why I didn't. TL9.
So vision only, no sound.
Yeah, vision only. That's why I'll need to sort out a connection through thingy.
Okay. All right. So effectively, you're going to need to rig the camera for video to pick up to the computer, and you're also going to need to rig one or both of their communicators to be streaming to you at the same time.
Cool. So I'm guessing Kara will reach the apartment. She'll grab a laptop, the camera, a few bits and pieces, chuck it all in the bag, and head and start the run. But you don't want to run on these places. Like the hurried walk back towards the gang.
Okay. All right. Well, by the time you've collected all your stuff and looked up its stats and remembered what you need to roll, by the time you've done that, you're actually arriving back at about the same time Jax gets back. Now wearing a very nice looking, very tightly fitted sort of vac suit, but it's the sort of wet look leggings of a vac suit, if you know what I mean. It's a tight, shiny thing that looks like she's going out for an evening, even though she's wearing a vac suit.
Oh, cool. Kara looks at the camera. He's like, "Well, I've got fewer options of where to start to place this now."
She grins and picks up her shoulder bag and says, "You put it in there. I can point it wherever it needs to be."
Fantastic. And if you're okay with keeping your device open with an audio line back to us as well, I can wire that all up. It'll all be done, no wires or anything, of course. We'll all do it remotely.
Sure. Yep, sounds good. And she hands you the bag, and as you start getting ready, she reaches over and grabs Rack's whiskey and drains it. And he sort of looks slightly like, "The hell happened?"
I'll have two more waiting.
Thank you. Okay, so what we need is you're going to need to do an electronics communications check for the camera installation.
Yep.
This will be because you've got an actual area to disguise it. It'll be a slightly easier roll, but you won't get boon for it, if you see what I mean.
Yeah.
So just your electronics communications plus your intellect in this case.
+4.
Strong.
We're in my wheelhouse.
Mm.
I just think Kara must be amazing at she'd be amazing at internet dating or chat rooms, because she's got +2s to all her cruising and chatting stuff and +2s to her electronic stuff. Great. That'd be rolling +8. We need to get
A
into a
good
place
mod
where she
should definitely be a good mod.
exactly. We need to get into a place where she's doing that. Anyway, here we go. Ah, it was a good roll as well. Probably too overpowered. 9 plus 4 is 13.
13. Okay.
Nice.
You have no difficulty fitting it, and it looks to you like you're going to be hiding it quite well.
Excellent.
Okay. Then, with that in, you also need to patch in the communicators. Now, you're going to go for both or just one?
Well, it's hard because like Jax and Thingy, you mean? Jax and Rack. Is that what you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. Rack had said previously, is he willing to? Because he'd said that she'd be the one doing it all. But
Well, you can ask him.
I'm really sorry, Rack, that Agnar slurped off the last of your whiskey while you weren't looking. Please don't hold it against him. Would there be any chance at all that you would consider having your device open audio as well? I just wonder if there's the chance that you might be called more into the inner sanctum, if that might make sense. That
Yeah, works for me.
so we've got the Xen would have the audio that fits with the camera from Jax, and then yours ready to roll just in case you get shuffled off for I don't know cigars and cognac or whatever it is that you tend to have in these situations.
Okay. All right. So we're going to need 2 more electronics communications checks.
Yeah.
This is now something that you do all the time. So can we have an education check instead?
Oh.
This is not a novel setup.
So it's comms plus education, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. 5 plus 4 is 9, so I'm glad I got a plus 4 in that. That's 9.
So that's for the rack one, and
Yep.
for Jax?
A different 5 plus 4 is 9. Not quite so
Okay.
grandiose.
All right. So a couple of 9s.
Yes, please.
Excellent. All right. You've got it all sorted. You sort of fire up your laptop and see what's going on, and you've got audio and video. So you're good to go whenever you're ready.
I shall give the thumbs up to both and say it's all looking good from here. I can lurk around. I'm sure we've got a lot of cheesy nibbles left. So I'm happy to hang out here. If you guys are feeling ready to go, that would be amazing.
All right. Okay. Now I need you to collectively, so all 4 of the PCs.
Oof. That's never a good thing. Sorry, go on.
Because you've been briefing them on their capabilities, I need you to each pick either a deception with intellect check or a leadership check with intellect.
So deception with intellect or leadership with intellect. Huh.
Yeah. So you can pick effectively each of you as you sort of brief them and get them ready. You're either going to be giving them useful hints and tips on how to navigate this process, or you're going to be teaching them a bit about how to look subtle or unobtrusive, So you can each pick whichever of those you prefer and give it your best shot to help them. This is effectively going to impact the roles that I'm going to make on their behalf.
Ah, cool. That makes sense.
Right. So Stefan's going to go deception with intellect because that's a flat. Nothing.
Oh.
No negatives to that one.
We've got a Bucky boon. We've got a Bucky boon, Ben. You can use a boon.
That's what it is, yeah.
Nice. And he rolled a 5 total.
Okay. All right. We got a 5. Kara or Soraya?
I'll go Kara. So what was it? It was a leadership plus.
Leadership plus intellect or deception plus intellect?
She's definitely going deception because that's a 0. Intellect plus 2. Okay. 6 plus 2 is 8.
Okay. A total of 8. Right. And Ewan, your next one?
So Agnar's going to go leadership, definitely. And this is to try and...
It's to inspire them and see how much useful information you can convey about what you need and how you need it, and whether or not you get them bang on with what their mission is.
Okay. Could I push for a leadership with social in this situation, as they are kind of going on a social call?
You know what? I think that's okay. Yeah.
We're all going
Very
on
kind of you, Ben, as always.
I think that's fair.
He's very generous tonight, Ben.
How to conduct yourself, in the general.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure he knows very well how to carry what he's working, but it's probably a good job too, because that's a 6 plus 3 is a 9.
Okay, 9. Good. And one more to go. Soraya, isn't it?
Yeah. Was it intellect and leadership or
It's leadership or deception. Either one with intellect.
Well, they're both rolling at a -1 because of my jack of all trades, and my intellect's a +1, so it's a flat roll. Here we go. Come on, luck be a lady tonight. I need a Dabo girl to help me with this. Come on, Dabo. Oh, not Dabo. 5.
Total of 5.
I lost my latinum.
Okay. All right. Yes. I feel that the female members of the team have rather let the side down here, but there you go.
Kara hit an 8, didn't she? Oh,
Yes,
that's all
true.
right. That's all right. Right.
Yeah, Stefan
too
didn't
bad.
do too brilliantly either, to be fair.
So one of us can talk. The other 3 just be like, don't just don't look at the camera. It's about the extent of their knowledge.
Don't look at the camera.
Don't look at the camera.
Remember your lines. Stand on your spot.
Yeah.
Don't touch your ear when you're talking.
Don't break the fourth wall. Yeah.
Remember,
Okay.
it's not a vlog.
Here I am in the top secret. Okay. You see them set off in the wrong direction. They kind of do a lap around a part of the concourse and then come in from the other side. And they wander off towards the lift. And Rack makes as if he's just spotted the Varga, walks over, introduces himself. There's a couple of handshakes and a pat on the shoulder, and you can sort of see them here for the moment, where you're seeing the image from the camera in your laptop, but of course you're also seeing them literally in front of you, and it all seems to be going quite well and quite smoothly. And at a certain moment, one of the guards turns away to check in or have a little communication, and just a moment later he punches the call button for the lift, and our 2 spies wander in. The lift door closes and they start going down. So now we cut to what they see once they get down there, and that will happen after the break, because it's time for us to take our 5-minute break.
It's probably a good point.
As the lift doors close on them, yes.
Yeah.
Just in case we never see them again,
Oh no! If you start the second half on something totally different, as if they never existed. Okay, now we're back to the cricket. Okay.
Back to the buckyball.
Right. Should we take a 5-minute break then? I'm gonna make another cup of tea.
Yeah, let's do that. Take a 5 minute, and then
Perfect.
then we'll resume afterwards.
Lovely job. Right, let's get this right. Hang on, where's the break picture? Oh no, goodness, it's in. Where's it? Oh, there it is. We'll leave that lovely picture up though. There we go. Well, it's in Sarai's face. Hope you don't mind that. That picture's quite important. We'll put that there. Let's turn the sound down. We'll be with you in. Oh, no, I've got to do the sound now. Bear with me. Click. There we go. Click.
In 5 or so.
Yeah, I think about 4 or so now, isn't it? Shut up.
Well,
Shut up.
we're well drilled.
Bye. We're up. Goodbye. Back in 5.
Mm.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome back. Oh, good morning, I guess now. Unless you're on demand, then you're watching it whenever you want. It's all down to you. Sorry, we had to remove the picture of Agnar and Rack because it is disrespectful to the memory of Grey Hill Bass. I'm sure he would have loved it. He would have loved the picture. He'd have loved being there, seeing such friends get on over a drink. But, you know, this is his time. Speaking of his time, I hand you now over to the Toastmaster for this evening. If you've just joined us, you'll join us for the most important part of our evening. And for that, we pass over to the most important person besides Grey Hill on the screen. Ben.
I get second billing. That's remarkable. So,
get
there are a lot
four
of
arms like
legends.
that and you can get first billing.
Yeah, there are a lot of legends about how Grey Hill became the bartender that we knew and loved. But one of them is that he was born to a noble family, but travelled in search of adventure. And on one occasion, he came across a community living under the tyranny of a cocktail maker nearby, who had frankly beaten them all down with her remarkable skills. And implored by these locals, he decided to face this rival bartender. They handed him the cocktail shaker that would become his signature, and he went off to face the rival in single combat. He travelled a short distance and found that she'd taken up residence in a cave, and he had to creep inside and then hide his way down below her sort of altar where she had set up her drinks. And seizing his cocktail shaker in his mighty forearms, he challenged her. And over the course of a titanic duel, which lasted for hours, he eventually beat her and returned victorious to the community. And on hearing this news, they immediately made him their leader. Now, the way the story ended was that the word reached the village that the defeated rival's mother, who had taught her all that she knew, might be hoving into view to take revenge. But Grey Hill had his wandering feet again, and taking his prized cocktail shaker that he'd won, he set off on his journeys, which led him eventually to the Baltic Star. Now, I don't know if that's the one I believe rather than last year's, but I tell you, it could be the second in a very long line. So, for everybody, to the late, great Grey Hill Bast.
To Grey Hill Bast.
To Grey Hill Bast. To Grey Hill. We need another gambling competition as quick as possible, Ewan, to move it back off Ben again.
Two to Grey Hills, 3 to Grey Hills, because I'm going to redeem one as well.
What a man!
To forget that story.
Oh, those forearms could do damage to any drink in a shaker.
Mm.
That's for sure. Right, let's bring all the bars back. Doing, doing, doing. There we go. Joyous.
Wonderful. I do love our Grey Hill cannon. Randomly make up.
I thought that was a weapon that he'd come up with in a second.
Much more about it.
Well, exactly. We're all exploring together.
The Grey Hill cannon for firing drinks at people.
So where we left off,
he used to be in the circus.
where we left off, Tilon Rack and Amelia Jax had just headed down into the lift shaft for the trip into this private suite. The guards, of course, remain vigilant outside the lift door. And And you watch on the camera, and you can see quite clearly inside the lift. The lift goes down just one level, but the doors don't open. Where they would normally just open automatically, they do not open. And there's a pause for a few seconds before the doors finally do open. And when they do, there is a very, very finely dressed Varga standing in the middle of an enormous space. It looks as if in this suite, the entire top level has been completely opened out into just one huge space. It is filled with seating and coffee tables and various sort of corners for watching hollows or watching the sport or whatever you wanted to do. But it's as if the entire place has been turned into a big public entertainment space. A sort of a space that can be used by the suite's occupant for entertainment, with presumably their actual accommodation in the two lower levels. And as the spies walk out, you catch a good glimpse of this. And the space seems to be almost entirely empty, apart from this one very, very elegantly dressed Varga. And he steps forward and sort of waves the two in. And moments later, you see, as the camera swings around, that sort of behind off to the side of the lift, there is in fact a second Varga in there as well. Your voice comms are not exactly synced with the camera because they're not sent by the same image. There's it's a slightly distracting half second or something between them. But the person who actually welcomed them introduces himself quite floridly as Tarak Ter.
Oh, how are we spelling that?
Ter.
And how are we spelling Tarak?
Tarak.
Tarak.
And as the second Varga approaches, this is a young and very slim, again beautifully dressed female Varga, and he introduces her as Tarak Ro. That's R-O.
Of course, that's how you spell Tarak. Silly me. So, do they take it in turns to introduce each other first? So they maybe they have a rotor.
What's with the dad jokes?
That'll be a bane. So they then, I mean, you hear immediately Rack introduce himself and introduce his companion under her real name. They're not doing deception at that level, and obviously he is well known among Varga, and they are shown forward to a sort of seating area around a table, and as they sit down, they're offered drinks, and they order a drink. And at this point, it's all just very, very relaxed. There's nothing that really stands out apart from the fact that these two who've welcomed them in are obviously profoundly wealthy and well-established members of this community. Moments later, a door to the side opens up, and someone does come in with a selection of drinks and food for them, and your two spies enthusiastically dig in while they're chatting. The chatting doesn't in itself seem to go anywhere much. As she sits there, Jack sort of swings the camera around a little bit, subtly, but swings it around a little bit, so you've got video of the entire circumference of the room. And it is big and open. There are just a few doors off the sides, but if it's the same kind of structure as the suite that you occupy, those rooms are going to be small, because the entire central area, much bigger than the sort of central lobby part of your floor of rooms, has been turned into this big open space. So they would be relatively small rooms off the side, maybe suitable for staff to come and prepare drinks and deliver things, and maybe storage. Nothing big enough to be anyone's stateroom, for example. And as the conversation goes, the two Varga are deeply impressed with Rack. They pretty much ignore Jax altogether, which she doesn't seem to mind. And they talk extensively about his military history. And he tries periodically to sort of encourage them to speak about the what they're doing on the ship and what they're interested in, and sort of lean them towards anything that could give a clue. But the downside of having a famous Varga in the suite is they really only want to talk about him. So you learn a little bit more about Rack's past, because he's telling them stories from his past, but you don't get a lot of additional information beyond that. After about half an hour, Jax excuses herself to go to the fresher, and she's directed towards a particular door. And she goes through into there and scans around inside it, but it's just a fresher. As far as she can tell, she looks around to see if there are any cameras or recording devices in there that she can pick up, but doesn't seem to be anything in particular. Not visible to her, and as far as you can tell, not visible to you. She returns just a few minutes later to the main room to find still just 3 people sitting there chatting. While she's been doing this, you've been listening a little bit to the conversation, and Rack's made another couple of gentle efforts to get the conversation off him and onto what they're doing there. And as he does so, you start to learn a little bit about the 2 hosts. They are a married couple, and they are in the line of succession behind Tarek Noor, or more accurately, Tarek Tur is, and his wife, Tarek Rowe, obviously would become his consort when the time came. Because Rack talks to her as well, which may not be all that common in their regular dealings, since he's the sort of the royal by birth, so to speak. You do get a couple of little tidbits from her. One of which is that she was actually born in one of the worlds that are subject to Regina in the Spinwood Marches. And though she's taken the title Tarek Rowe, she wasn't born Tarek Rowe. She was known up until she was married as May Synagogue. That's Maysyn space Agogue.
How are we spelling May? Sorry, M-A-Y? Just M-A-Y?
Maysyn.
S-Y-N, yep.
And then Agogue.
Thank you. And she was born on Regina in Spinwood Marshes, you see?
She was not actually born on Regina itself. She was born on one of its minor worlds nearby.
Cool. Thank you.
Cool.
as the conversation goes on, it reaches a sort of natural petering out. It gets to the point where it's now become them just sitting there and smiling at each other and being cordial. But at a certain point, Rack decides he's got whatever he's going to get, and there's no easy access to anything secret or anything special. So he decides to leave the door open, and he explains to his hosts that if they're interested, he's going to be having a bit of a bash in his own suite, and they'd be very welcome to join him. And they essentially offer a reciprocation. They say, "Oh yeah, well we're actually having a party here in 2 nights from now. So if you'd like to come along to that, of course you'd be very, very welcome." And they all sort of shake hands, and then Rack and Jax make their way back to the lift. And when they arrive at the lift, again, the doors don't open. When they hit the button, the doors don't open. There's a delay of a handful of seconds before the doors open, and then they get in, and the lift goes up to the top. And this time the doors open immediately, and they walk out onto the concourse and set off in a random direction, sort of much in the same direction as they were heading the first time, and disappear out of sight. You can still see the camera moving around, and it's not very long before they find a quiet corner, get themselves a couple of drinks, sit down, and stick the bag on the table facing them, and then pull out their communicators and turn them off the mute setting that you had them on. And they say, "Well, that was a bit of a dead end, wasn't it?"
Mm-hmm.
Quick question, Ben. Out of character, did they have to push a button in the lift, or was it automatic? Did it just go up and down one floor?
The guard pushed a button for them to get in at the top.
Yeah.
The lift then went down to the floor immediately underneath.
Yeah.
Then they didn't touch a button. They were just waiting, expecting the lift doors to open immediately. But it was a delay.
Okay.
When they went back to the lift, they did indeed push the button, and the lift was there waiting for them, but it didn't open at the button's push. You'd have expected it to, but it didn't. And then there was, again, a few seconds delay before they went in. And as soon as the doors were closed behind them, it went straight back up. And when it got to the top, the doors opened immediately.
No buttons inside the lift to say which level?
Yeah,
as you would
there
expect.
are buttons inside the lift, but they didn't get to touch one. By the time they were in there,
cool.
The doors closed, it immediately started moving.
Perfect.
So someone or something has power about getting out of the lift to that floor.
Mm. Or at least where the lift is going.
Yeah.
On each journey.
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Dead end. It's going through Kara's laptop, so she's the one sat there, I guess. And I'm sure everyone's crowded around watching in a very casual way.
Yeah, in a very casual way. Yeah.
Kara will say, Jax, was there? I guess you had a chance to sort of look around and not being involved in the conversation. Was there anything of interest? Anything that struck you as different or interesting when you were there? Or was it very much nothing that stood out?
Let's have both you and her roll a recon check.
Okay.
So you're going to sort of give her some indications to what you're looking for vaguely, and we'll see if you can give her a bit of help with her recon check.
Is it a flat recon, or can I use my intellect?
You can use intellect.
Okay, so it's 0 + 2. Okay, we're rolling well again after some dodgy ones. 9 + 2 is 11.
Okay, it's good that you had that. Her roll was not good.
Oh,
okay.
No. Oh no.
She says, one thing struck me, I think. There was no empty glasses, no rings from something being put on a table, no bowls of food. There was nothing out except what was brought out to us. It's like that space isn't used at all until you have guests, and then they go there specifically to meet them. I'm betting they don't use that room at all unless they've got outsiders they want to talk to.
It's a holding room, Stefan will say.
Kind of.
Now, that's interesting because you'd have thought that Freya Cranov would be a guest. Now, if she's in that suite and she's not in what would be considered a guest room, then she's more than just a guest. That would be fair to assume, I guess.
You guessed?
I guessed about the guest.
Yeah. At this point, sorry, I probably should have said Agnar. As soon as they left, he'll wander off to the bar, or some minutes later, and he'll see whether he can buy a bottle of two bottles of whiskey.
Okay.
Sealed, as well as another round of drinks for the table.
Okay. That'll come to about 60.
Okay, perfect. I'll mark that off, and he'll probably wonder back about this point and just be like, "Oh, did they get anything?"
More than they might have first thought they did, I think. What else did I want? There was one other thing. How about you, Rack? From talking to them, through your experience of talking to sort of poshos and the rich and the powerful, was there anything you picked up from them? That I'm sure all rich and powerful were hiding things and like carousing a bit in how they speak, but was there anything through conversation with them?
No, not really. Truthfully, I wasn't that impressed with them. They seemed lightweights, you know.
Not big hitters, not big cheeses.
Maybe my imagination. They didn't come across as being all that confident in their authority. They were too relaxed, too enthusiastic. They didn't have any gravitas about them. That's all I can tell you.
That's interesting to know, though.
Do you want to get them back to the table? Are they being followed? Is there a reason we're talking to them on the telephone? Do you think, Carl?
I think it's up to you.
Or are we done?
I think it wouldn't hurt to not be seen with them again for today, I guess. After going to that, you know, if we're trying to have plausible deniability around the security and us and that, I would imagine
Agnar kind of slams the 2 bottles of whiskey down on the table with a little bit too much force, like just bought them.
Why don't
you bought them a thank you?
You know where he's staying, Agnar. Why don't you put a nice suit on and take them over there a little later on?
Yeah, I'm sure that'll be fine.
Is that and Carol will speak through the screen, I guess. Is that okay with you, Rack? If some bottles of whiskey get dropped off at yours later on?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, always good.
Okay. Agnar will be over later on with your thank you gift.
Yeah, in fact, I'm going to have one of my neighbours over tonight, one of the players. She's coming over for a drink, so bring them along. More the merrier.
Oh, fantastic. Which player is your neighbour, by the way?
June Vicarage.
Good old
Agnar will look over to Soraya as the name comes out, sort of like questioningly. Do you want to come with me to drop off some whiskey? Meet her.
meet old Jim. Ah,
Yeah, you
June.
know that look when you know someone's probably going to be
Yeah,
interested
June, you
in
have
something that's
actually
just
met her
been
before.
mentioned. Yeah,
oh, June Vicarage. Yeah.
we
met
have
her.
indeed.
She's the one whose parents came from a dusty planet and couldn't spell.
Is she the Varga with the things shaved inside her head? Or is that someone else?
No, she's a spinner for the Geeker team, who indicated that she knew a Varga who lived near her,
That's
and you went
it,
to investigate and discovered
yeah.
it was Rack, if you remember.
Is that the
That's
person
right.
that it ended not ideally with when Soraya was carousing them in the bar?
Yes.
Is that a thing? Yeah, it wasn't, a good.
Oh yeah, we liked her. Got on well. Yeah, okay. I'd love to meet up again. Sounds wonderful. I'll throw some glab rags on and trail along after you, Agner. If I'm not,
He'll be like, we're still on the,
if I'm
we're still
if
on
I'm not
speakerphone.
if I'm not sort of like crimping your style at all, I don't want to get in the way. If you don't want me there, then I won't.
Oh no! I'm sure it's fine. He has company over, so I can bring someone with me, and you two can get talking, and we can get talking, and
Okay. Well,
it works perfectly.
fantastic. Okay.
Not that I'm planning these things out, obviously.
That sounds good to me. Sounds like we've got something for the evening.
Okay. All right. Well, it is now essentially into the evening, early evening at this point, but the concourse is busy. People are laughing and cheering and having drinks and eating and having, at the time of their lives, because they're on a buckyball cruise and everybody loves them.
I've just look up old June Vicarage, bless her. She was a bit nervous at the time. Oh, good old June Vicarage. I look forward to seeing her again. Okay. Cool.
As we get to the evening, I assume has play finished.
Yes.
Is that a good point to catch up with the scores? Do you want to do it later?
You know what?
I'm just,
be.
One of my characters would surely just be a little bit curious as to what's going on. Not as much as Soraya, but they'd have interest.
Okay.
118 for 5. I've got it down as. Is that right?
Yeah, 118 for 5.
Cool. Let's roll some dice. We've got batsman number 6 and batsman number 7 in.
That's right. Xenia Henry is currently facing.
Is that number 7 or number 6?
She's the keeper for Dillabrew.
Is she number 7? Number 7.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Here we go. Ooh, let's get lucky. Double 4.
2d6, please.
Double 4.
Double 4. My word.
Yeah.
That's a good start.
Yes.
That is a run out.
Run out. Excellent. So did they get any runs off the over though?
No, not for that one.
Oh, good. All right, that's good. 7's gone. Up to number 6, are we? Back to number 6. Or...
Yeah, so she was out for a mere 10. Look at that. So yeah, Lee Gogol comes in. You're now into their bowlers.
Lee Gogol. So is that who we're bowling against now? Number 8?
Yep, number 8.
Here we go. Go on the Gogol. Double 6s. Oh, I'd quite like some double
6. My word, you're ploughing through them. That's clean bowled. Can you roll 1d6 for me, please?
Yeah, I can. A 6.
A 6. It's a duck.
So none of that one as well. Look at that.
None for that. Yeah, absolutely amazing. So the next one on, apologies to everyone, is Ken Oval.
Ken Oval. Hang on a sec. I'm just replying.
I feel like there's almost multiple puns there. Rival. It's evil Kenoval.
Evil Kenoval. Yeah. Okay, so 2d6 please for Ken.
2d6 for Ken. Kenneth. Kenny. Oh, 5 and a 6.
A 5 and a 6. I'm sorry, he's really hit out there. That's 11 off the first over.
So is that all still within the first over?
Yes, that's his first over. Yep.
Okay, so we've had 3 overs so far. That was his first. Poor old number 6 is back. Is it? Who's been sort of stuck around,
Yep.
watching the team fall
Yep.
apart?
Algernon de Malvern Hill.
Algernon de Malvern Hill. It's so cool. I don't want to get Algernon de Malvern Hill up. Out. Sorry. 5 and a 1.
A 5 and a 1. Okay. Just one run off the over. He's obviously trying to dig in.
Okay. Well, when you've got someone slugging at the other end, double twos.
Double twos. That's 4 runs off that over for Oval.
Oval. Back to Algernon.
Yep.
4 and a 1.
A 4 and a 1. Okay, just one run again. Look at that.
He's holding on.
He really is digging in, isn't he?
Really is. 6 and a 2.
A 6 and a 2. 8 for Ken Oval. He's absolutely flying through these.
Oval is going for 2, 4, 6. This is the 8th over. Are we doing 10 in this slot?
Yeah, let's do 10. Why not?
Okay. 6 and a 1.
A 6 and a 1. 7 for Malvern Hill.
Oh, well done, Malvern Hill. He's got his iron. Five and a 5.
A 5 and a 5. Oval obviously pushes just a little bit too hard. Can I have 1d6, please?
6.
A 6. Okay. He slams a couple out towards the boundary, scoring 6 runs over the over, but unfortunately, immediately after that, he is caught.
You got him.
Deserved. Got there in the end.
Nice.
But that's 29 he did in just 4 overs.
My goodness. That's big. That could be big. We don't know. It could be big. Okay. Last over of the session. Is it back to number 6 or up to number 10?
Oh, no, it'll be the replacement. So Freddie Park gets his go.
Freddie Park. 1 and a 4.
Okay, he's off to a slow start with a single run off the over.
Okay. Which gives, right, let's both do some maths, I guess. 12, 16, 17.
Yeah.
This is good TV, everyone. 9.
Yes. What are we looking at? 17.
Okay, I'll see if we're matching.
35. 45.
Tell a story, Ewan, while we're doing this. Say something exciting.
I've got 157.
I have.
Both of them have 157, everybody.
4, 5, 6, 7,
That's it.
This is my story.
157 for
I'm just
8.
going to be
I've got.
confirming 157 for 8
I also have 157 for 8.
versus 157 for 8. That appears to me as though it would be 157 for 8.
157 for 8. Look at that.
Thank you, Ewan. You are like the official spokesman.
I mean,
Good
you've
night,
got to have
Socks.
people,
Thank you for joining us.
these things.
Really appreciate it.
That sucks.
Yeah, it's been amazing. Thank you. Thanks for coming.
Yes. Okay. So 157 for 8. It looks like, at least in the first innings, Geeker is keeping them pegged.
Up the geeks.
Up the geeks.
Up the geeks.
The
We'll have a
geeks.
celebratory up the geeks for that. Come on, the geeks.
And I like to think at some point on the walk back, Stefan will like pull up to a TV screen somewhere on the station or get it out on his device and say, "Oh, Soraya, look, is this good?" I have no idea.
So we're like,
It looks good.
I've missed a great session. I can't believe I got dragged away for that last sort of 40 minutes worth of play. That had everything. That had.
It feels a bit bad now for pointing it out.
Yeah, I'm afraid so. I mean, 157 for 8 when they resumed at 118 for 5. It's solid, isn't it?
It's good. Oh well. So
There'll be a
enjoy...
recap though, right? We'll catch something when we get back to the suite, or stay up late and watch the highlights.
I could have watched
Surely.
it live. So
I know, but there's always tomorrow.
You say that.
Yeah.
Something just ran through Sarah's head as she was saying about it. She's like, "Oh, aren't I supposed to be dressed as a giant fish down a bar tonight?"
That's what you decided, yeah.
Oh,
Stefan, I say you're also going with Agnar to meet what's her name? That player.
maybe it's Kara's. Maybe Kara gets the night out. I'm looking forward to. I've got a date with Destiny. I got.
Frankly,
I can't think of a fish that sounds like Destiny. Otherwise, I'd have had it. A date with. Is there any fish? Destiny.
Date with
Destiny. That's not
A
bad.
date with Destiny.
Probably as good as you're gonna get.
It is. Let's face it. Let's stick with that and carry on.
Better out there, but
Yeah.
We already spent far too long trying to add 118 to 39, let alone me coming up with more fish puns.
Yes. Yeah. So does that mean you're going to do the dressing up as a fish thing, and you're going to, apologies for this in advance, skip Jax and
Oh,
Rack?
no. Yeah, Sarah will say, Cara, looks like you're Ragnar's wingman tonight. Stefan, you got a plan? Do you want to come to the bar and watch me dressed as a fish? Or have you got a better place to be? That's a really dirty laugh for a fish joke.
There was me gonna go with you've got me stuck between a rock and a hard place.
There you go.
But, I mean, if there's more fish puns and there's a bar, I'll come along.
And it's not all fun and games. We're trying to see if there's any sort of word on the street about anything. You never know. It's not just fun it's not just fun and games. It is work as well.
See if there's any word on the street about a secret murder that nobody knows about, or possibly a secret Varga party that nobody's allowed in the lift to.
Exactly.
Yeah, of course. It's strictly work.
Strictly work. And I get to dress as the mascot of my favourite team. What more? What more could a girl want? A giant fish. You could wear your fishy T-shirt we bought you. It's got the same fish on that I'm going to be. Your hat. Wear your hat.
I'll be your fan club.
Yeah, wear the hat with the fish for
I'll get the fats. I'll get the hats.
The fats and the hats.
We'll chew the fats. I'll get the hats.
Whatever that. We can talk about the sea bats.
Yeah, it sounds like a plan. I'm there.
Good.
You sold me.
That's it. Go get the hats.
How many? All three? We got three, didn't we?
You've only got one head. We have.
Well, yeah, I know, but other people might want them.
What, you're going to give them out?
You could give them away as prizes for something officially mascot related. I don't know.
I don't want to give away Cara and Agnar's hats without them being happy to do that.
I'll go get my hat, and I'll meet you at the bar.
Come on. While those two get all dressed up, all fancy for a party, we'll wear novelty hats and a novelty suit and chill out at the bar. It's how they always see us, Stefan. They see us as while they hobnob with the rich, they always see us as
We're keeping it real.
We are keeping it real. With our cheesy balls and our mimosas. We know what's what. We don't hobnob.
I do like a hobnob though.
Well, me too. But an honest chocolatey one, not a posh one.
Yeah. Obviously.
Come on, Stefan. Let's go and have a wonderful. We'll be like, have you ever seen that old the old Terran film Titanic, where the posh were hobnobbing up top? We're like the working class dancing to the fiddle music in the lower decks. Keeping it real with the common man.
I've not seen that one. I've seen The Odd Couple though. Can we do that?
Sort of what- we could do Grumpy Old Men if you want.
Yeah. Something along those lines. I'll tell you what. I'll run back. I'll get the hat. I'll meet you. Where are you going?
I'm gonna go there. I'll give Thingy a call, old Sharpie a call, because just to make sure she's still happy for me to do it, and then I'll get the suit, and I'll meet you.
Okay.
I'll meet you at the bar. How about that?
Okay. Perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect. And we'll liaise and we'll meet up eventually.
Yeah.
At said bar.
All right.
That's a bar.
Okay. So we split into two pairs. Which one do you want to take a look at first?
Oh, they both sound
Because we'll
fun.
do the setup for both of them, I think.
Ah, nice. I'm easy. I don't mind either way.
Okay. Well, let's start with the visit to the security office then.
Cool.
So you arrive at Sharp's little security suite. She's not there, but a cathedral is.
Cathedral. How are you doing?
Well, thank you. Very well. Yeah. I mean, it's never easy when you've got murders and gunfights and things happening on a cruise ship, but we're fine.
It's not easy when you're the one having said gun shot at you, dear cathedral.
I try very hard to stay in my office so that doesn't happen.
Very good. It's the place where the hard work gets done within 4 safe walls.
Yeah, well, I do a job.
You certainly do, and a very important job you do too. You probably know more about me than I know about myself by now.
Well, I hope not.
One thing you might know about me is that I'd had a chat with Sharp earlier today about the possibility of wearing a Geeky Geeks fish suit and fulfilling both my lifelong dream. Well, my second one, I'm ticking them off this week really, and but also sort of keeping my ears out, hearing. Everyone relaxes around giant fish, I found, and a few drinks and a giant fish, and tongues might start wagging. I thought, might bring up nothing at all. Might hear something that's useful to the case. Sharp was positive about it. I'm just checking that's still okay and that the suit has been procured for me.
That's a very, very good idea. Yes, we do have the suit for you. And I must say, pretty much the only thing I knew about you before you came on the ship was how relaxed you were when surrounded by giant fish.
Exactly. And now you also know how good at buckyball I am.
There's that too. Yes. Yes, indeed. She reaches over to a sort of a corner of the office and pulls up a box, and she says, "Here you go. Good luck. They're expecting you at Duke's."
Thank you very much. Before you go, on these cruises, you've been a security officer. You must have been a security officer on these cruises for a while. Do young children tend to kick and attack mascots like they do on some planets? Tug at the tail, pull on the
I don't
nose.
think it's unheard of. I wouldn't worry about it too much though, because it's a buckyball cruise. Parents are accompanied by children.
By the children.
But the one you might need to think about is in costume. I would stay very much to the geeker side of the ship.
Wow, I wouldn't want to be around that other side of the ship.
And they wouldn't want you there.
The feeling is mutual on all sides. Lovely. Well, have a lovely evening. I hope it's a quiet evening for you. I'm guessing the fewer calls you get, the better your evening is.
I'm thinking that since a quarter of you are busy dressing up as a fish, it will be a quiet evening. Yeah.
Well, You're always welcome to come and join us if you get bored.
Okay, thank you. There you go. You are set up and able to head off to Duke's with your costume. Now, the other two of you, Agnar and Kara, are heading to Rack's suite. It is substantially less impressive than your own. It is a very basic, very ordinary suite. Though he was, treated to the trip. When he was treated, he wasn't given an incredibly luxurious suite. It's basic, but that actually makes it quite nice when you get in there to find that Jax is there. June Vicarage is there, sort of sitting in the corner with a drink. And there are no other people there at the moment, but Rack, as he sort of invites you in, says, "Well, there should be a couple more coming along later." Yeah, have you met June? And he sort of drags you over and putting an arm around each of your shoulders, he sort of marches you over to June, and then says, "She tells this amazingly funny story in which she comes from this desert planet and her parents couldn't spell." And then he says, "You guys need drinks," and he marches off and grabs some drinks and sort of thrusts them into your hands. He didn't ask you what you wanted or anything. You understand? It's just, here's a drink.
June, please tell us the story of your parents not being able to spell. It sounds like a wonderful tale.
He pretty much told the whole thing. It's how I ended up called June.
Well, it's a fine story. You must be the one that Soraya told us about.
Oh yes, I played on the fan team with her.
Yeah. Did you enjoy the game? Did you enjoy playing?
Oh yeah, the game was good and the win was great.
Oh, it's always good to win up the geeks. Soraya told me that you do a little bit, and I hate to talk business at a party, but you do a little bit of import export, and I've sort of become the de facto person who sort of makes deals on our ship, and so it's actually quite good that I've popped in here tonight, because I know Soraya's got your details anyway, but it's nice to sort of make face-to-face contact, I guess. Soraya said that you're interested in trading far afield and keeping us an eye out for anyone on distant worlds looking for, I think, high-tech gear, I think it was.
That's what I'm interested in, yeah, mostly.
Cool. I've definitely got a note of that. That's definitely something we'll prioritise heading forwards when we sort of start on our journey out. I think Sarah told you about that, I'm sure.
Yeah, any contacts you've got, any leads you've got, I'd be happy to cut you in for a slice.
Is there anything else you're interested? You said mostly. Is there anything else that that might be worth dealing in?
Well, it all comes under the category of tech, but we're on the borders of things here, so weapons are always a good trade.
Okay. Any sort of are we talking high-tech weaponry that's only available to certain people or certain groups, or whatever we can get our hands on, or what are you thinking in that regard?
Can you roll a persuade with social, please, for me?
Yeah. Should have been warming my dice, that's for sure. Persuade. Oh, that's okay. +3. 6 + 3 is 9.
Okay. She says, if you can find good, high quality bulk kit, I might be interested, but let's be honest, the real money's in finding something a bit more specialist.
Okay. in is there sort of any sort of is it something you'd rather do deals on large amounts of weight, or are you happy to sort of take a ton here and there? You know, if you got a bottom, you know, 'cause some of this sort of specialist gear is hard to get hold of, right? And the numbers might be low. Are you okay in doing small
I
deals, or
I've done deals for a few hundred tons. I've done deals for less than a ton. In fact, my most recent really lucrative deal was for, well, a suitcase's worth.
a suitcase is worth, you say?
Barely, I could carry it myself.
Was this I don't like to pry, you know, deals are private, of course, but for a suit to do a deal on just a suitcase, it must have been very high tech gear. You wouldn't do that with just a few, you know, just a few standard laser pistols.
Exclusive, rare items. Yeah. With the right customer, the very well-heeled, the very well-connected, well, the rich, they sometimes want something a bit unusual or unexpected.
For that sort of thing, do you need to have a good, you know, just talking how we do things? I guess I've made the way I tend to go about it. Sort of, I'll make contacts as I go and sort of get chatting ideally and sort of find out what people want and so on. And you know, it's often on judging you can sort of tell by looking at a person, sort of judging whether they're a good person to deal with. I'm sure you, like me, have had your fingers burnt in the past, both in buying and selling. Um, for this, for something so high tech like this and something so specialist, it's almost there's something more personal about it than selling 3 tons of stuff. You know, is it?
Yeah.
Is that the sort of thing you have to know the person to do? Again, you know, talking business really. Is that the sort of thing you'd need to know the person for? Or are you willing to do that just to anyone that comes asking?
I don't need a prior arrangement with anybody. As long as they have the money, I'll do the deal.
Hmm. I'm guessing that all your records are kept private. So in our dealings, for example, you wouldn't share contacts and details and things with other people, right?
I find it's best not to get too bogged down in paperwork when it comes to arms deals. Have a more streamlined process for those.
That makes sense. The people that you got the gift that sort of high tech suitcase. I always have interest in high tech gear as well. Um, like not all of us are come with inbuilt claws and such things to fight with. Some of us have to. She sort of says, nudging over to our strong Varga friends. You know, we don't all have claws and teeth. Some of us need to sort of arm ourselves to get close to people. Um, that's like something like high tech, like that suitcase. For personally, for me, would that sort of thing be easy for me to get through you?
You got a couple of minutes?
I've got a couple of minutes, yeah.
And she waves and yells across to Rack that she'll be back in a moment, and heads out and walks across the little corridor and opens the door to her room with you following. And inside her room, she goes over to the wardrobe, the cupboard, and pulls out a fairly sturdy looking sort of impact resistant case, like a heavy duty briefcase. She throws it onto the bed and pops it open. And she says, "If you're interested, Take a look.
Right, we've did we all see the Law of Frost weapons, or was it just Stefan?
It was only Stefan.
Ah, Stefan. So Kara's gonna look in the case. What am I looking at, Ben? Without giving away, it's that difficult thing of what the character knows and what we know, right? But to Kara's eyes, what's she seeing?
Kara, she sort of has to step around the foot of the bed a little bit in order to look in, because obviously the case was open facing her, facing the other way, sorry. And she walks around just a couple of paces and turns and looks down into the case. And that's where we'll call it for tonight.
Oh.
So catch you next time.
What a cliffhanger.
Oh, man.
I mean, you've dropped some before, Ben, but none quite as blunt as that. Cool.
It's a bit sudden, wasn't it?
Yeah. Oh no, in a good way. I love it. I'm there for it. And we indeed.
What's in the box? What's in the box?
What's in the box?
Well, yeah, it is a classic "What's in the box" moment. That's going to lead to so many gifs on Twitter when I post this video.
Yeah.
Thank you for that.
You're welcome.
Yeah, Rose's cat.
We have a
Thanks,
Rose's cat. Well,
We do
that's
indeed.
a lovely thing. Let's do a Rose's cat. Okay, let me just wet my whistle.
Yeah, of course. Whilst that's going on, are we raiding after this, Luke, or are we?
Oh yeah, I'll go and have a little poke around. Shall I have a poke while we do that then?
Oh,
Yeah. Have you got any?
I'm
dropping dice again. Sorry.
still got a bit of wine to finish.
For anyone that's new here, Rose's Cat is something people can spend money on, which is an extra story which Ben has written around Rose's Cat. That's
The ship's cat.
A cat that Rose bought. I can't remember what the deal was. Discovered, became the custodian of.
The cat that owns Rose.
The cat found Rose, and is back on our big
cats
ship.
tend to do.
Exactly, and is slowly taking over everyone else, taking ownership for everyone else on the Baltic Star.
Yeah, exactly.
Excellent. So, meanwhile, on the Baltic Star, Kronsorama was finishing the last of his intricate pieces of work. Despite Caboodle's interest in the work, which was both considerable and, well, interactive at times, the kitten had eventually fallen asleep on the floor with her head lying on his foot. He gathered up the leftover string and the dozen or so complete items and looked at the cat. As if it knew he was about to move his foot, it let out a small snort. He reached down and gently stroked it until it was fully awake, something it celebrated with an extraordinary stretch and yawn. Sarama walked from his quarters forward into the lounge and smiled to see the kitten following him. He sat leaning back in one of the chairs and quickly programmed the electronic bar to make him a drink. There were many reasons to miss Rose, but her cheerful pouring of drinks was definitely on the list. A few moments later, he was joined by Rachel Axis, and he wordlessly handed over one of his finished pieces. She thanked him and carefully tucked it into the top of her vac suit, into the hollow that Caboodle has discovered was so convenient. It fit perfectly. As expected, not only were Sarama's skills exemplary, but this part of a vac suit was essentially a standard item for adult human users, as human heads really only came in one size. She looked around for the kitten and naturally discovered that the one time she needed to have it to hand, this was the moment it was hiding under the seat. A quick flick of her fingers created enough interest for Caboodle, and she charged forth to do battle with the fingers as needed. Axis scooped up the cat and carefully placed her in the recess on the top of her vac suit. Caboodle didn't mind that arrangement at all, and immediately snuggled down as usual. Astonishingly, this small area was even more compatible with kittens than before, now lined with a loose net of string, and string was a lovely, lovely thing. It wasn't more than a few seconds, however, before Caboodle was suddenly evicted from her hollow, as Axis picked up the string net and lifted it out of her suit, carrying the startled kitten with it. Both engineers carefully examined the tiny cat as she hung in the string hammock. "It's perfect," said Axis. "Good job." Hanging in the string bag, Caboodle peered out at the humans. Clearly, string had unexpected uses. There we go.
Very nice.
Oh,
Thanks, Ben. And
what
thank you,
is-
Sparrow.
what-
As always.
Thank you, Sparrow.
What is that crafty caboodle going to get up to next, eh?
Wow.
Hey, we'll have to wait till next week.
It's another fine mess.
No,
Well,
yeah.
she's only a kitten. There's a limit to how evil she can be in practice.
Exactly. Well, I guess. Oh, sorry, my head's gone because I was doing something. I guess that is the end of our traveller for tonight, and I have got a raid lined up. But before we go, what's happening? What is going
What's
on?
going on?
What's going on,
Yeah.
guys?
It's to quote Marvin Gaye.
Well, you're next up, aren't you? Tomorrow night.
I am. Tomorrow night is Spooky Sunday. It's catching
Spooky
on.
Sunday.
It's what everyone's calling it now. All the cool kids are calling it Spooky Sunday.
Right. And you want to be with the cool kids.
Yeah, it's definitely not Spoopy Sunday because it's definitely not cute or adorable. It's horrible, quite frankly. I'm finding it more and more horrible by the week. We're playing Until Dawn. We've episode 5 of that now, are we? 4 or 5? And it's just quite scary, quite frankly. I don't know what it's like to watch, Ben, but it's scary to play with headphones.
Oh, I'm enjoying it thoroughly. I'm enjoying it a lot. I'm enjoying the game and the story. I think it's great, but I'm also enjoying your reaction to it.
Oh, I wasn't very happy last week. There was too
Also,
much
it's a
scary stuff
lovely
happening.
chat stream as well. You know, everyone sort of is having a good giggle in chat, so it's nice.
That is a good chat stream, actually. That one. They all are, but that one's quite.
Yeah.
There's something about that one. So that's Sunday. Then we roll through to Thursday. Is that our next
Thursday,
day
yes.
on?
Yeah.
Is that?
Now that's presumably Hitman 2, is it?
Oh, that'll be Hitman 2 Thursday. Yes, it'll be Luke plays again for Hitman 2.
Excellent.
Less scary. People just make fun of me for being rubbish generally at Hitman 2.
True, but you know that's part of the fun.
I did get to dress up as a shaman last time, and spray some posh woman with loads of concrete.
Yeah, that was a bit weird. That one. That outfit did nothing for you.
And then I blessed it by throwing a fish in. That was my favourite part.
You didn't look remotely like you were in acquisitions.
No, that's acquiring bad juju and taking it from people. That's what I was doing. That's Thursday. Next Friday, I guess we're going back to Traveller Fridays again after our couple of weeks.
Yes, that's right. Yeah, after
switcheroo.
2 weeks because you were off partying with your own buckyball teams.
Yeah.
We are back on our regular schedule on Friday.
Back to Traveller Fridays.
And then what are we doing on Saturday, Ewan?
Yes, Ewan.
I don't know. I have no idea. No, Saturday we're going to be playing a one-shot for One-Shot Winter. We're going to be playing a game called Save Dave, which is a game that entails you trying to rescue, save, find your friend Dave, who is the one shining beacon of hope in your Nowheresville town that you live in. It's going to be glorious. I think it's a very simple rules light system made by someone from the TTRPG community over on Twitter. I'm gonna rejig it a little bit so it's a little bit more UK centric, and we're gonna try and save our friend Dave.
Save Dave.
That sounds wonderful.
Which I think is something everyone can get on board with, frankly.
Yes, absolutely. Dave
Dave's a
needs
great
protecting.
He is the one
Absolutely.
beacon.
Dave, save the world.
He is the one beacon of light and hope in our town. After all.
Yeah, exactly.
We all like Dave.
Well, now Greyhill Bast is dead. I mean, you know, it's Dave. That's
It's
all we've
Dave.
got.
Got to
Well,
throw all our eggs into one Dave-shaped basket.
who knows? Dave may have a familiar surname. I'm not sure. We'll see. He is a fine specimen of a man with a strong jawline and some good forearms.
Good forearms.
So,
Yeah.
I-
Excellent.
You never know.
I'm just happy as long as it's not Dave von Cotswold.
That would have been a good one.
Oh, Lister.
We'll
Dave
see.
Lister,
We'll see.
yes.
We'll see how the mood takes us. Takes me. Who knows?
Excellent.
And we might have a spot open for that where we were discussing earlier. So
Yeah.
I might put something out in Discord. In fact, I will put something out in Discord if anyone fancies joining us next Saturday. We should have an available spot for a quick Rules Light one shot, which will be a one shot this time. Generally speaking, our one shots turn into 2 or 3 shots, but
They can leak a bit, can't they? But
this
one we reckon will be a one off. Yeah.
I'm confident.
Before you say that,
We'll see.
it becomes a series.
Excellent stuff.
Yeah.
Right. Well, thank you, everybody. It's been lovely. Do we have a raid set up?
Yeah, top-down tabletop. The ones that popped in at the start, they're playing D&D.
Oh, that would be nice.
Let's go say hello. They were there 5 minutes ago when I checked, so they're all good. So we'll head over to that top-down tabletop. So join us if you wish. Otherwise, we will see you all soon. Have a good Sunday.
Thank you for joining us.
Good night.
Cheers.
Now we've got to wait while we wait for this to top up.
Please enjoy the lift music.
Music. Excellent.
Can you make yourself a fish hat for next week, Ewan?
A fish hat?
Yeah. So you can get. So we can.
I can attempt to.
Because then we can. Sorry, I'm just waiting for the viewer numbers to go. So that then we can LARP it basically.
Yeah. I mean, it's going to be funny either way, isn't it? Have you got a fish question, Luke?
I'm sure I could find one.
Really, because that seems the harder of the two. If you ask me.
with two young girls and a load of papier-mâché, we can achieve anything.
There you go.
Mostly a mess.
Yes, willing helpers for your craft project.
Exactly. Yeah. Right, let's raid. The raid's on. Toot toot, etc.
Glorious.
Right.
Super.
Okay. We go, and we are. there.
Oh man, 26 viewers.
I know they're doing good, man.
Doing all right.
All very with sexy cold builds. Right.